My name is Edward Richtofen, and I have been trying so very hard
What in the
to do
hell?
the
I
right
agree.
thing.
Where's this going?
No, the other thing. Go back.
Really? Alright, fine.
I'm so sorry. I really don't have time to explain. I have a universe to
Alright, Jerry, when you're right,
Thank
you're
you,
right.
and
Now I'm
goodbye.
hooked.
Hey, what's up, soldiers? My name is GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and welcome back to another video here today on the channel. Today, guys, we're going to be doing a top 10. I haven't done one of these in a couple months. We're going to be counting down the top 10 classic weapons in Treyarch Zombies history. So these are all weapons that are either from World at War, Black Ops 1, or Black Ops 2, and they're basically classics. When you think of those old Zombies games, these are the weapons that first come to mind when you think of those games. Now, I decided not to include any from Black Ops 3 because it's a newer game. Although it came out 5 years ago, it's still kind of new, so it's not as classic as like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, and World at War. And also, I decided not to include Black Ops 4 because, to be honest, a lot of people don't like watching videos about Black Ops 4, and it's fairly new anyways. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into the video. Coming in at the number 10 spot is going to be the Bowie Knife, the Bible knife that you could buy off the wall. Starting off in Doris, it costs 3,000 points, and you can buy it off the wall and usually make your money back pretty quickly. Now, this was first introduced, like I said, in Doris in World at War, and it was a great weapon back then, but at the same time, the zombies sticking to you in World at War caused a huge problem, so it wasn't really too good at that point. But then when it came back in Black Ops 1, especially on maps like Kino and 5, it became a very, very good weapon that a lot of people ended up buying because the knifing mechanics were definitely a lot better in Black Ops 1 compared to World at War. To this day, people still buy the Bowie Knife. It was on Alpha Omega. It was also on Ancient Evil, Dead of the Night, Voyage of Despair, 9, Classified, all those maps in Black Ops 4, and even to this day it was on a ton of different maps spanning all the way from back in Doris to now present day. So definitely a great weapon. It has to be one of the most classic weapons in Zombies. That's why it comes in here at the number 10 spot. Coming in at the number 9 spot is going to be two weapons. Whether you're part of the Olympia gang or the M14 gang, there is no denying that both of these weapons are classic when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies. They were literally in every single spawn room except on Die Rise, where the M14 was outside of it, and on Origins, the Olympia got replaced with the Ballista. Now, both of these weapons only cost 500 points, so they're a great option on the early rounds if you decide you don't want to use the M1911 or the Mauser on Origins. Now, honestly, to be honest with you guys, I think the M14 is a lot better when it comes to getting points. It's just a lot easier to use. You have 8 ammo per clip instead of, or magazine, as opposed to only having 2 shots in the Olympia, which definitely kind of sucks. It's basically a newer version of the double barrel shotgun from World at War. Now, both of these weapons are definitely great, but I want to know down below in the comments section, are you guys part of the Olympia gang or the M14 gang? Personally, for me, it's definitely the M14. You can get way more points and it just works out a lot better. So anyways, that is going to be the number 9 spot. Coming in at the number 8 spot is going to be the STG-44. Now, this weapon first appeared in World at War. I remember buying it the most kind of near where the Bowie Knife wall buy is, on Doris specifically, but it was on various other maps as well, as getting it from the box and things like that. Now, the STG is a fairly strong assault rifle, and it definitely reminds me a lot of World at War. I sometimes buy it when I played Verrucht as well, right near, like, out of the showers as you're going to the power room. So that was also a pretty good wall buy spot as well. Now, the STG-44 was also brought back into Origins, and to be honest with you guys, I think the Origins version of the STG is still the best version of this weapon. It seems so much stronger and more accurate in Black Ops 2 than it did in World at War, but it was still a very, very good weapon in World at War, and I always bought it off the wall if I wanted to buy something that I needed, like a better weapon or whatever. I would just buy the STG. So to me, it's definitely classic, and that's why it comes in at the number 8 spot. Coming in at the number 7 spot is going to be the American SMG, the Thompson. Now, most iconically, this weapon can be bought off the wall right outside of like the furnace area on Doris, and it's in like the right hand side of spawn if you're looking at the clock. if you guys know what I'm talking about. Now this weapon only costs 1200. You could also buy it on Noct, and it says it costs 1500, but it was actually 1200 as well. It was a mistake that's still there to this day. Now the Thompson is a very, very good gun for getting points, probably one of the best point weapons in all of zombies history. And they also kind of added a reimagined version with the M1927, which first appeared on Mob of the Dead, and then it was brought back into Origins, and we've seen it in pretty much every single zombies since. So overall, the Thompson's a really, really good weapon. It reminds me a lot whenever I use the M1927 of using the Thompson way back in the day on Noct and Doris and everything like that. It's a really classic weapon, and that's why it comes in at the number 7 spot. Coming in at the number 6 spot is by far the most iconic LMG in Call of Duty Zombies history, and that is the MG42. Now when you pack a punch it, it has the name Barracuda FU All, and I think that's a great name overall. To be honest, they always named the guns like amazingly back in World at War and Black Ops 1. Now to be honest with you guys, I think the MG42 is just so badass. Whenever you're using it, you feel like an absolute animal. You have 125 shots in the magazine, which is insane. And then also when you pack a punch, you have a ridiculous amount of ammo. I think it's 875 total shots that you can take once you pack a punch. This thing has a really fast rate of fire and just puts out a ton of damage. Although you have low mobility, it's really going to be like really effective overall. Even on Gorod Krovi, when you're inside of the hatchery area, there's actually a turret where you can use the MG42. It's kind of sad that we've never seen it back in Call of Duty Zombies since World at War, but I would really like to see it in other things instead of just outside the map, like on Horizon Drac and even Gorod Krovi. There's various MG42s just sitting around. This was also underneath the fountain on Verrucht, and it was even the thing that you need to use to throw the summoning key at the fountain on Verrucht on Revelations for the Easter egg. So it's super iconic. It has to be on this list, and it comes in here at the number 6 spot. Coming in at the number 5 spot is one of the most iconic assault rifles that we've ever had in Call of Duty Zombies. It was originally in Black Ops 1, and then we got it in Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 as a different name, and that is going to be the Gelila. Now the Gelila is a very, very good assault rifle in general. It always feels like you are putting out very, very strong amounts of damage towards the zombies. It has a fairly good headshot multiplier. The Lamentation's a pretty cool name when you pack a punch it, and honestly I loved using it more in Black Ops 2 than Black Ops 1. I just felt in Black Ops 2 it was just one of those weapons that was just so good, and if you got it from the box, you were pretty much set up for the entire time you're playing the game, whether you're doing the Easter egg or just going for high rounds or anything like that. It's a fairly good weapon to put out a lot of damage. So the Gelila comes in here at the number 5 spot. Now I think a lot of you guys are probably going to disagree with me. If you played back in like World at War onward, I would say the Gelila probably should have been a little bit higher up on the list as far as like numbering, but I do think it's really classic to me specifically, and that's why I put it at the number 5 spot. Coming in at the number 4 spot is my favorite weapon in Call of Duty Zombies history, and that is the PPSH-41. Now, way back in the day in World at War, this weapon is literally legendary. It was one of the most fun weapons to use overall. Now, you couldn't get it on Noct, unfortunately, but you could get it in Verrucht, Shinonuma, and Doris. And on all of those maps, it was the most sought after weapon besides the wonder weapons, besides the Raygun or the Wunderwaffe. Everyone wanted the PPSH because it was pretty much the best point weapon we've ever had in Zombies. It had 71 magazine size, which is crazy. Unpack a punch, and then when you pack a punch it has 115. It's called the Reaper when you pack a punch it. People were so excited when we got it back in Gorod Krovi because it was such an iconic weapon from way back in World at War. Now unfortunately they ruined the name the Reaper and named it the Grim Reaper, which I'm still not that happy about, but overall it was still nice to see again in Gorod Krovi. It's not nearly as good as it was in World at War, but it's still a pretty good comparison to what we had back in the day. And the PPSH is just such a classic weapon. That's why it comes in here at the number 4 spot on this list. Coming in at the number 3 spot is going to be the SMG that the Nazis used in World War II, and that is the MP40. Now, this weapon, to me, most iconically is on the wall on Kino. Buying it in the Speed Cola room was something that I always did whenever I went that way, and I just feel like it was one of those weapons that was really, really good for getting points as well. Just like in World at War, this thing got you so many points and could allow you to pack a punch fairly quickly. Now, it didn't have a lot of ammo when you pack a punch it in World at War and Black Ops 1, but it was also brought back into Origins, and another weapon that a ton of people use on Origins because it's readily available in so many wall buy locations. You can get it at Generator 2, you could get it right at Excavation, you could get it over by the behind Jug in that footprint to fill the box. I mean, the MP40 was readily available all over the map, and that's why a lot of people liked using it, because it was such a classic weapon that was really good for getting points. But not only that, it was just really good way back in the day as well, and that's why it comes in here at the number 3 spot. Coming in at the number 2 spot is a weapon that we have seen on every single Aether Zombies map, and that is the Raygun. Now, the Raygun, it seems like each time we get a new Zombies game, gets worse and worse. It was fairly good in World at War unless you had splash damage, and then they fixed that problem with PhD in Black Ops 1, making it one of the most highly sought after weapons. But statistically in Black Ops 1, it was actually the weakest version of the Raygun. And then in Black Ops 2, there was a few ways to get PhD, but it wasn't really that great. And then in Black Ops 3, it just seemed to completely be one of those weapons that you leave out, because you could statistically make every single weapon a wonder weapon with dead wire or some sort of alternate ammo type. And then in Black Ops 4, just no one wanted the Raygun either. So overall, the Raygun is just such a classic weapon, starting off in Noct, obviously. And if you guys want to watch a full video of me getting the Raygun on every single Zombies map, I just posted that on Sunday, and I spent a lot of time on it, and you guys can probably find it at the end of this video. But overall, the Raygun is definitely a classic weapon, and it comes in here at the number 2 spot. And coming in at the number 1 spot is probably no surprise to any of you guys, and that is going to be the M1911. Whether it's the Colt M1911 from World at War or just the 1911 from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, and in Chronicles of Black Ops 3, the worst version of this weapon, the Colt M1911 is a classic. It sounds amazing in Black Ops 1, especially on like Kino. Just the reload sound alone is something that everyone can literally hear if you're just watching it. Like, for example, right now, I'm going to play it with no sound. Like, you can just hear that sound, and then obviously when you actually hear it, it just sounds so crisp and amazing. Now, in World at War, it was the Colt 1911, and when you pack a punch it became the C3000 Biatches, and then eventually we got the Mustang and Sally. This thing was by far my favorite weapon to use in Black Ops 1 because of PhD Flopper, one of my favorite perks overall. It was just so fun to use, and it's definitely a great weapon. And the M1911, starting off every single game in World at War, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, except for on Origins, you always can remember this weapon and using it to get points on the early rounds and kind of point build your way up to buy something else. And it's definitely a great weapon, so it had to be number 1 on this list. So anyways, guys, that is going to be the top 10 most classic weapons in Treyarch Zombies history. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Once again, this was from World at War through Black Ops 2, and that's it. We didn't include Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4 because they're more recent Zombies games. And to me, I really like this list. Now, if you guys disagree, honestly, that's totally fine. You can let me know why down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please do me a favor and drop a like, and consider subscribing as well to help me out. I would really appreciate it. My name is GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.